Gymnasium for high school match here in Connecticut. This is Bristol's Game Time. I'm David Thompson, longtime official, and with my partner tonight is Andrew Meese. He's an official here in Connecticut. We're both going to be talking about the matchups between the Bristol Central Rams and the Bristol Eastern Lancers.
And Dave, this is a match where records go out the door. These kids have known each other their whole life. They've trained together at the Gladiators, and there's a lot of pride in this match. Both coaches are getting these kids ready for tonight, and they've been talking about this match since they started the season.
The series record between the two schools, Bristol Eastern holds that advantage, a 31-29-2 record. It's been close. It's been back and forth. Certain teams have run some streaks of like a decade or so, and then the other team would come back with another decade. And to my right here, I have longtime Bristol Central coach Dennis Sigmund, and he's going to talk about some keys to victory for both schools.
Well, obviously, this is go time. This is the time of the year when you're getting ready for the state tournament. They just had their CCC tournament. These guys have seen each other quite a few times during the year. So some of them know what they have to do. And if they don't, they should. The coaches have prepared them. For Central, I think Eastern probably has an edge here if you're looking at overall points. So the keys for Central are not to get pinned in certain matches and to score bonus point wins in the matches that they can be victorious in. So there's a couple toss-up matches that Central would need to win this match in the end.
As to the athletes, how do you think this matchup is going to be for these kids? Some of them will be young kids out there wrestling against a senior. What do you think these kids should be doing to help their team succeed?
I think at this, like I said, at this point in the year and for this match, I mean, I know as I coached kids in this match, this is the biggest match of the year. And they need to understand, this is your crosstown rival. This is bragging rights. We all live in this town, and I know we talked about all of us being gladiators, and many of them have, but it's still, you got to face this guy or these kids or their parents in town. And so this is bragging rights for the city of Bristol. And so they need to know how important this match is tonight. And so if they're not ready to go tonight, I don't know how you get them ready to go, because this is it. This is their last dual meet, their last opportunity to get ready for the upcoming state tournament. So it's go time. And I had a talk with a college coach last week. I mean, if you don't understand what this time of the year is in wrestling, then you're not ready for this sport yet.
Yeah. These kids are definitely friends off season, but coming into the match, it is really big for them. What do you say, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we said, I think Coach Sigmund said it best. This is bragging rights. These kids are out there to battle. This is, Bristol is a hotbed of wrestling in the state of Connecticut, and it's a bunch of gritty kids. They're going to go out there and, like you said, you got to see these people in the grocery store, and you want to be able to say, hey, we left it all out there on the mat.
We do have a couple of kids this evening that are ranked here in Connecticut. Starting off for Bristol Central, we have Cody Dragon at 106. Dennis, what do you think Cody's going to bring tonight?
Cody's a pretty aggressive wrestler, especially in that first period. He comes out strong. He'll be looking to score a takedown. I'm sure Central is looking for a pin out of Cody Dragon tonight, so he'll be going after it right away.
At 120, we have Evan Martin for Bristol Eastern. Scrappy kid, keeps it close. And at 138, we have Trevin Grottorama. He finished second in the CCCs, and he's sixth in the state. And we have Alex Lamar, which is second at 150. Really scrappy kid, probably Bristol Central's best kid in the lineup. And we have Evan Kaczynski, seventh at 157, and Rocco Paulino, eighth at 190. And for Bristol Eastern, Aiden Davies, he is ranked fourth at 215 in the state. Very athletic, big man.
Yeah, and I think some of these ranked guys are really going to go after some bonus points tonight, Coach Sigmund. If they got the chance to get people on their back, they're going to go for the pin.
All right, so we are going to be cutting away now, and we'll come back to action soon. Also tonight, we have longtime Bristol Eastern coach Bryant Lishnes. Started coaching here in 2011. Is that correct?
It was before that. It was 2007 season I started, but I was also a part of the staff in '96 as a volunteer, recruited by you to come out to that staff.
So we asked Dennis what the key to victories are for both schools. What do you think will end up happening tonight?
Well, this is always a tough match, always a fun match. A lot of emotion, a lot of energy, a lot of nerves. I think the kids who manage their emotions and kind of live in the moment and really embrace it tend to do the best. You know, you got to be in the moment and really appreciate it and manage your nerves. Feel them, but you can control them and wrestle through it. So whoever does that the best usually wins.
So we talked about many of these kids being gladiators and they were teammates growing up, but now they're crosstown rivals. How do the kids deal with that?
It's funny. It's not like it used to be. You know, both these lineups, top to bottom, have all gladiators in it. A lot started when they were little kids and they were in elementary school together. So they've been boys boys and girls now. They've been teammates and friends for a really long time. And then when they get to high school, we pick up a few more kids who come out in high school. So they're training and traveling together. They get up for the match, but it's not as bitter as it used to be. They're such good friends. They respect each other and like each other. And they just, it's just a little different. They want it for pride, but I don't think the season hangs in the balance on this match like it used to.
Hey, Coach, you know, when I came here and I was not from Connecticut, but I got introduced to you and to Dave early on. And I saw the passion that you had for this match. How do you get your kids ready for this match? Is it different than other matches? Because I know you have a very successful career here. But is this match special and near dear to you?
It's always special, no matter what. You wanna win the rivalry match. It means something to the kids. It means something to the parents and the fans. So you definitely want to win that match. I tell you, in the beginning when I was here, when I first started in 2007 as the head coach, we probably put more onus on the match than was necessary. And believe it or not, when we kind of changed our focus to not worry about the match until it was upon us, I think the kids handled it better. And then we kind of went on a streak winning a lot of matches then. We kind of we just tried to take a business approach. It was another match. We're gonna have success no matter what. Let's just keep working. And I think that helped.
So you talk about a winning streak that you had. Well, back from 2016 to 2019, you had a 51-match winning streak. How was that team and those teams that you had those years?
Well, that was a really fun time. Most of those kids had come up through the program. Through the Gladiators. They've been trained together for a long time. One of them is our second official today, Justin Marshall. He's out there, a two-time state champ for us. So those teams were really special. We put a lot of kids into the open from those teams. They were just tough, top to bottom. It was kind of a time when we were reloading. The coaches put in a lot of work, and we just wanted to load those teams up. So we were working really hard all the time, and they were really great. They were just really great teams.
So we have your career record as 216 wins and 42 losses of an 832 winning percentage, and we have Dennis Sigmund tonight, which you heard from earlier. He coached from 1977 to 1999. He had a 348 win to 109 losses and 12 ties when there were ties of a 751 winning percentage. You definitely put a lot of time into coaching the kids, and you care a lot about the kids. What do you think the kids are thinking about tonight?
I think they have nerves. They always do. I mean, this is a big crowd. There's a lot of energy here. So that piece, the kids have to figure out how to manage. If the coaches did it right, they'll be okay, though. I know both coaches have ramped up their schedules in the last few years, so these kids are hitting big events. They're hitting big tournaments. They're battle tested. So I'm looking forward to a tight match.
Are there any kids that you can see that are going to shine tonight? Stars on both sides?
Well, yeah, we on both sides of the lineup. You know, Alex Lamar for Bristol Central is a kid who's going to challenge for an open title, and we'll have a chance to make some noise at the Open. I'm sorry, not only the Open, but at New England's as well. He's a member of Team Connecticut. He trains with the Gladiators year-round as well, so he's really putting a ton of work. On that side of the aisle, too, you also have Cody Dragon, another kid who had a really strong youth career, and he was an underweight 106 last year, did well. This year, he's kind of filling out the weight class. He only has a few losses. He's won most every tournament he's been in or been a finalist, so he's another great one. Those are two on that side that really stand out. On Eastern side, Trevin Guardarama, he started wrestling when he was a real young kid, did some work with the Gladiators, did some work with KT Kids, did some work with Ascension. He did a lot of, just a lot of heavy work when he was young to become a great wrestler. He kind of left the sport for a little bit, but came back, and it's like he didn't miss a beat at all. So he was a finalist in the CCC tournament, just like Cody and Alex were for Central. And then at Eastern, you also have Evan Kaczynski. He's a kid who's putting a lot of great work, and he's won quite a bit. He's ranked. And then finally, Aiden Davies. Aiden Davies was he won state titles at the youth level. He was a state finalist as an 8th grader, a New England finalist. Both of his losses were to Max Konopka that year, and that's a kid who's going to Virginia Tech in college and won the U.S. Open. One of the top-ranked kids in the country, and Davies had a chance to avoid him and never did. He went after him. He wasn't able to get the win, but just shows the type of kid he is. So he's another real solid kid. So there's some kids, marquee kids here today that are going to be in the Open.
All right, last question. This is for you, Coach. Listen, I've known you. I ref when you were coaching, and now I seen you pounding the pavement on Sundays. You're doing the youth circuit. I'm dragging my kid out. I see you there. Before I get there, I see you there after I leave. What motivates you besides your love for the sport? Like, what do you get out of this?
Well, for me, my whole life, I've always been working with kids. And so I like doing that piece of it. I'm kind of stealing a page from John Benoit, who was I would consider my mentor in coaching, and then also from Dennis Sigmund. These are older gentlemen that are still young, and they're young at heart because they're always around young kids and athletes and being a part of things. So that's a big part of the motivation for me. Plus, I'm competitive and I love the sport, but that's another reason why I do it.
All right, so we're going to be taking a break here, and we're going to be back with you shortly. last match of the season for both of these as in the dual meet season before the tournament starts. And we're going to be recognizing some of the seniors that we do have tonight. So we'll go through those weight classes. And it looks like at the lower weight class at 120, we have Evan Martin for Bristol Eastern. His record is 33-9. And moving up to 138.
138, we've got Tevin Gardarama, who's got a record of 36-2.
And the next weight class we have is 144 for Bristol Eastern. We have an Alex Signal. He's got a record of 12-15.
And then at 157, oh, you want to go over here?
Yep.
All right, at Bristol Central, we've got Jacoby Fry, who's a senior.
And our next weight class, we have a senior, 157 for Bristol Eastern. We have an Evan Kaczynski. His record this year is 34-7.
And at 165 for the Rams, we've got Kyle Roman, who's a senior.
At 175 for Bristol Central, we have Donovan Plantamora.
And then at 190 for the Lancers, we've got John Saracena with a record of 7-19.
And we have at 190 for Bristol Central, we have a Rocco Paulino. Rocco is also a CCC runner-up. And at 215, we have Cole Kruger. Cole Kruger is a captain along with Rocco. And for Bristol Central, following up their last senior is Julian Rodriguez. We are now going to be getting a coach's interview for Bristol Eastern. It looks like he's just talking with the head table. We will get with him shortly. So we had some CCC place winners this past weekend. Cody Dragon took second at 106. Evan Martin took fifth at 120. Colton Massey for Bristol Eastern took fifth at 126. Trevin Guadarrama took second at 138. Alex Marr took second at 150. Evan Kaczynski took second. 165, Logan Champer took fifth. Rocco Paulino took second. Aiden Davies won at 215. And Cole Kruger took sixth at 215 as well. So we do have Phil Susi. This is his first time as a coach at the Eastern Central match. So, Coach, what is going to be your key to victory tonight?
Our kids just have to stay in the moment. You know, don't get overwhelmed by the situation. Wrestle the way they've been wrestling all year, and then hopefully the results speak for themselves.
And what message did you send to your kids tonight?
Tonight, I'm going to go in the locker room in a couple of minutes and give them a message. But it's pretty much exactly that. You know, don't let the moment get bigger than you. Wrestle your way. You know, let the match get extended and do your job.
And going forward with your team for the state tournament, how are you guys gearing up for that?
Same thing. You know, we've been in a lot of tournaments this year. We've done very well. Top 3, top 4, a lot of seconds. And we're just saving that first place trophy, hopefully, for the state tournament.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Okay,
and
bye-bye.
we will wrap up and we'll come back with you shortly.
Good. Ready? Okay. 10, 9, 8, go. Hey, thanks for joining us, Coach Matt. So tonight, big match. How did you get your team ready? What'd you tell them? This is a big match, bragging rights. Well, how was your week of practice?
I mean, honestly, it's a big match, but it's also just another match. So part of the message is just get out there and wrestle. And it's a little bit different, more people, rivalry, all that. But at the end of the day, it's you and your opponent on the mat. So it's wrestling through the positions. It's doing everything that we've been doing all year.
Right. And coming into the end of the season, how are you mentally preparing? How are you getting ready for the state tournament?
Trying to wrestle through positions and trying to simplify it. As, to win, you got to not think about winning. You got to think about winning positions. You got to think about scoring points. You got to think about maintaining position and not getting caught up in everything else that's going on.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
So right now they're honoring Bristol Eastern seniors. It is their senior night here in their gym. It'll be special for also the parents as well. Picking the kids up from practice. You remember those days? Calling your mom to have you come pick you up.
Yeah, we had a payphone in the lobby that you would call your mom and then collect and hang up, and that was code to bring you home.
So we had a phone in the back room over here, and we used to call mom or dad to come pick you up, but they were usually still getting home from work, and my sisters had to do that for me.
I would imagine if you're in any gym tonight where there's a wrestling match in Connecticut, they're going to be honoring seniors and talking about their accomplishments and what they're going to be doing next year when they graduate.
So also in across the state, we do have Hall versus Conard. We do have Platt versus Maloney. These are all towns that have two high schools in it. These kids know each other very well. These kids are really amped. They worked all year long for this. It is really a special moment for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, they've been wrestling in high school for 4 years. So you think about how many practices, how many times you missed a meal to make weight. Think about waking up Saturday morning early as can be and being at that tournament inside a gym, giving up a lot of time for this sport. So, it's quite an accomplishment to make it through these 4 years.
So we have 5 seniors tonight being recognized for Bristol Eastern. Again, as I said, over on Bristol Central side, we have 6 on their side. They did have their senior night last Wednesday. This match normally comes down to these two schools on who's going to win the CCC, but this year Bristol Eastern wrapped it up before this match by going 5-0 in the conference.
And just hearing some of the accomplishment these kids have made, it gets me excited because it's going to be a good match. A lot of these kids have a long list of accolades.
I'm sure there's many alumni out there watching this as well. Let's give a shout out to them because between these two schools, there are 1,600 victories. So they are so close. They are 7th and 8th in the state of Connecticut for most wins. Bristol Central holds a little edge right now with 838 victories. Bristol Eastern has been coming on strong the past few years and has closed that gap to 832 victories.
Yeah, I mean, this year's record: Bristol Central 13-6, Bristol Eastern 15-2. And it goes to show you this is a tough town. This is a hotbed. Wrestling is a big deal here in Bristol.
All right, to the partner.
All right, so we're back here. Bristol Central just finished their warm-up. Bristol Eastern's going to be taking the mat soon. You're probably going to hear some of their favorite music for these kids. We're going to just go through the lineup. And we're probably going to have, let's see, we'll have Andrew introduce the Bristol Eastern wrestlers. And I will introduce the Bristol Central wrestlers for our starting lineup.
All right, so starting off at 106 for Bristol Eastern, we got Noah Corbin, who's a freshman.
And for Bristol Central, we have Cody Dragon. He's a sophomore.
And at 113 for Bristol Eastern, we got Rami Santiago, who's a junior.
And at 113 for Bristol Central, we have Caleb Morales. He's a sophomore.
And 120 for Bristol Eastern, we got Evan Martin, one of our seniors tonight.
At 120, we have Hudson Fry, is a freshman.
And at 126, we've got Colton Massey, who's a sophomore at Bristol Eastern.
And we have a sophomore on Bristol Central's side of Lucas Wellborn.
At 132, we've got a junior, Kanan Kalez.
And we have a junior for Bristol Central, Trent Kotsky.
At 138, we've got Tevin Gardarama, who's a senior.
138 for Bristol Central, we have Isaiah Mullings, who's a junior.
144, we've got Alex Sinal.
144 for Bristol Central, a junior. We have Melvin Rodriguez.
At 150, we've got two weighed in tonight. We got Emmett Corbin, a sophomore, and Matthew Otani, who's a junior.
And at 157 for Bristol, 150?
Yeah, 150.
150, we have Jacob Fry. He's a senior. A good note here about Jacob Fry. He's also the 2025 Connecticut Boys State Governor, first ever from Bristol Central, which earns him a trip to Washington, D.C. over this past summer.
Congratulations, Jacob. At 157, we have Evan Kaczynski, who's one of our seniors being spotlighted tonight.
And at 157 for Bristol Central, we have Alex Lamar. He's a junior. He is their top wrestler.
At 165 for Bristol Eastern, we got Logan Shamper.
And for the Bristol Central Rams, we have Kyle Roman, which is a senior.
At 175 for Eastern, we got freshman Gavin Martin.
And for the Rams, we have Donovan Plantamora, which is a senior.
And at 190 for Eastern, we've got junior Logan Roy.
For the Rams, we have senior Rocco Paulino.
We also have another 190, a senior, John Saracena. And then at 215, we've got Aiden Davies, who's a junior.
And for Bristol Central, they have their captain, Cole Kruger. He is a senior.
And the big men tonight, we got Miguel Rodriguez for Bristol Eastern.
And for Bristol Central, we have a senior, Julian Rodriguez.
All right.
Battle of the Rodriguez. I don't believe they live in the same household, though. So in the past here, we have Bristol Eastern. They have state championships in 1996, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And they were runner-ups in 1993, 2016, and 2025.
So for Bristol Central, they were state champs, the Class L state champs in 1985 and 1998. And they were runners-up in 1999, 2006, 2007.
We have 5 minutes until cross match. Now, you may see different wrestlers come out at these weight classes. What do you think the coaches are trying to do when they're doing that?
Well, yeah, you're going to have – there's going to be some gamesmanship. You have two very intelligent coaches that know this sport. So they're going to be shuffling the lineup. Like as we said, there's a couple people weighed in, and if they can shift their lineups and get a better matchup, they're going to do it. And for our audience, whoever has choice, and this is determined at the coin flip at the beginning of the match, they have to show that wrestler first.
Last year's match was won by Bristol Eastern, 43-27. Many seniors were wrestling last year for Bristol Eastern. And Eastern last year also were runner-ups in the Class M tournament.
Yeah. And I think this is a recent shift for Eastern to go down to the M's. Usually they were permanently they were at L school.
They were. Last year in the state tournament in the Class L's, we had Alex Lamar from Bristol Central. He took first in the Class L's. And for Bristol Eastern, Trevor Guadarrama took third in the M's. And we're going to wrap this up, and we'll come back for the cross match for both schools.
I do. I get water. You want a water?
All right, here we are. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes from now. Tonight's matchup between the Bristol Eastern Lancers and the Rams from Bristol Central High School. Thank you for coming to support our athletes from both teams. While wrestling is a competitive sport, we'd like to remind you it is also an educational experience for all players and students. Your sportsmanship and respect for the game, coaches, athletes, and each other is always welcomed and expected. The score of an athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of contestants, coaches, and spectators are remembered. Both teams worked hard to prepare for tonight's contest. To honor their dedication, let's all do our part to make sure our competition tonight is friendly and make the joints to be remembered for good sportsmanship. In the end, good sports are always the winner. Now, please direct your attention to the map for our starting weight class lineup for tonight's event.
Do we know what weight class we're starting with?
Starting at weight class 106. For the Bristol Central Rams, it's 40 Dragon. And for the Lancers, it's Mark Corbin. Moving up to 113. For the Rams, it's Caleb Morales. And for the Lancers, Rami Santiago. Next up at 120. For the Rams, Hudson Fry. And for the Lancers, Evan Martin. At 126, for Bristol Central, Lucas Welburn. And for Bristol Eastern, Colin Massey. Next up at 132, for the Rams, Justin Z. And for Eastern, Kanan Khalid. At 138, for Central, Isaiah Mullings. And for Eastern, Trevin Gardarama. At 144, for Central, Melvin Rodriguez. And for Eastern, Alex Schinnel. At 150, for the Rams, Jacob Fry. And for the Lancers, Matt Atani. At 157, for the Rams, Alex Lamar. And for the Lancers, Logan Chamber. At 165, for Central, Kyle Ramon. And for Eastern, Evan Kaczynski. At 175, for the Rams, Donovan Plantamoro. And for Eastern, Gavin Martin. At 190, for Bristol Central, Rocco Paulino. And for Eastern, John Saracino. At 215, for the Rams, Cole Kruger. And for the Lancers, Aiden Davies. And last but not least, in our heavyweight class at 285, for the Rams, Julian Rodriguez. And for Bristol Eastern, Miguel Rodriguez. Now, in order to honor our nation, please rise and face the flag to the left of the officials table for our national anthem. This contest has officially started. It's time to wrestle.
We're back here at Thomas Monahan Gymnasium. We do have the captains out there for both schools. Our tonight's official is Nam Tran.
And look, the energy is palpable. The crowd's already into it. They were louder during the warm-up than a lot of the dual meets that I've referenced.
In tonight's contest, Bristol Central will be red, and Bristol Eastern will be green. We are going to get the call from Nam and seeing whose choice it will be.
All right, so Bristol Eastern has odd matches. That means they will need to report their wrestlers to the table first, and they will have choice after the first period. And we're starting at 1:06 this evening. So again, for Bristol Eastern, we've got Noah Corbin. And for Bristol Central, we've got Cody Dragon, who's fresh off a second place finish at the CCCs.
Cody quickly right into it. An outside step, still no control, waiting for the call. And we have Noah get the call here and a good revert. Cody's right into it.
It's kind of a unique Peterson role where he's got the reversal. Now Nam is counting back points. No back points. But we do have two reversal on the call. Cody on top with the legs in.
Yep.
Got one leg in. He's running a half other side.
Legs are out now. He's getting back points here.
He's got
looks
two.
like he has two.
Yep, he's holding two.
He's trying to tee off. He's teed off now.
All right, Noah's in trouble.
His head is up, and there's the fall. 104 is the fall for Cody Dragon. Cody's record now is 27-2. He is ranked 4th in the state of Connecticut.
All right, up next at 113 for Bristol Eastern, we got Rami Santiago, a junior. We've got Caleb Morales. But I see both coaches looking at each other. So
Bristol Central has to throw out first. So we have Caleb Morales, and here's Rami Santiago. Again, Bristol Eastern is green. Bristol Central is red. And here's the whistle. Well, no one's quickly waiting. They're going right at it.
Boom.
We got a big lift. Looks like we're going to get an illegal slam here. Legal slam, 1 point for Bristol Central.
1 point for Caleb. Rami was in deep, picked him up, but you got to bring him down under control. You bring him up in the air, it's your job to bring him to the mat. He brought him down, in Nam's opinion, a little bit too hard.
We'll see if he picks up that attack and goes right back to it. Definitely not shy to go right into it again.
Rami back in, boom, takes him down,
double to his back.
And there's back points.
3 back points by Nam. Rami's letting him go. 1 escape.
So right now it's 6-2, Bristol Eastern. I think that's what Rami's going to do. He's going to take him down, let him go a few times. Try to break him into the first period.
Yeah.
A lot of fakes.
I think he's just trying to break his stance down.
Oh, boom.
And there we go.
They shot
Caleb
at the same
with
time.
the 3.
Caleb came out on top.
Still his control. 6-5 right now. Past a minute. Still his control.
All right, successful mat return. Brings him back down, but looks like Rami might be sneaking out the back door.
We have a
There's two on the
reversal.
reversal. So now we're 8-5, Bristol Eastern. Now with one escape, we're at 8-6, Rami. A lot of offense in the first period for both of these guys. Rami back in on a single leg. Changes off to a double.
He's got 10 seconds here, so he's going to have to start driving in.
Caleb doing what he's supposed to. Posted on the head. Whizzer. Sprawling.
And that's the first. Could be Bristol Central's choice. Red defers. Eastern. Eastern's going neutral. Little winded here. He looks like he's gassed, though.
You know, he looked over at his coaches, and they automatically said neutral. A lot of times guys will choose down after the first period to get that escape, get a point. Rami's confident in his offense, and he's back in on a double. Changes off to a single.
Got that wizard in.
Back relentless.
And there
he
it
goes.
is.
He's got finished his double. Now he's
So
got
it's still
Caleb.
in bounds.
Caleb's on it.
Oh.
Had Caleb on his back, but before they went out of bounds, he did get two near fall.
So, NFHS rules now, you have to keep something on the mat in bounds.
Yeah, it's a little different than college where you have a cylinder. This, if you've got your toe in, it can't be elevated off the mat. They go out of bounds, and Caleb was down, but Rami elected to put him back on his feet. 13-7, Bristol Eastern.
Yeah, Rami's just waiting for him to reach. There's
He
a
takes a
bet.
single straight to his back.
He's got him here tough. Got to
Caleb's
bring
in-
those shoulders down to the mat.
Caleb's in a tough position with 1:06 left in the second period.
Very close here. Places that arm. Now he's got all. And there's the fall.
There's the pin for Eastern.
3 minutes, 19 seconds fall for Rami Santiago, which ties the score up 6-6 for each team.
Man, you did that math really quickly in your head. I'm impressed.
Is that Bristol education?
It's that Bristol Eastern education.
Okay, before we get into our next match, those of you that are sitting on the edge of the mat here, we're going to have you move into the stands or back between the majors. You're very, very close to the action there. We want to make sure that for your
We've got a couple of the Bristol youth wrestlers from the Gladiators. They're so excited. They were sitting next to the mat, but kind of a dangerous situation if one of these guys come flying at them.
So we are at 120. We have senior captain for Bristol Eastern, Evan Martin. He's going against a freshman, Hudson Fry.
It'll be Bristol Eastern choice after the first period. Hudson Fry does not waste time. Shoots right off the whistle, is in on a leg, and now they're in a scramble situation. Nam is doing a good job and holding his call. No control yet for either wrestler, but they're scrapping.
I like how the freshman went right out there and he didn't care that he was a senior. No fear at all.
No fear. Captain, don't care. I'm shooting right away. Boom. Nothing yet. We're still scrambling. This is a great scramble, guys.
Looks like he's going to come out on top on this one. Evan, being a senior captain, definitely does not want to lose here on his senior night.
All right. Nothing yet.
It's a good hold and patience by Nam.
All right, looks like Martin has the leg in. There he goes.
Leg in.
Leg in. He beat the
Cradle.
shoulder. He's got a cradle. Now he's on top. You know, Hudson's still on that leg. He's like a dog with a bone. He's not letting go. I think Eric's probably thinking stalemate at some point here.
We got 30 seconds to go in this first period. As long as Hudson holds on to that leg, I don't see any more back points coming here.
No.
There's a stalemate, 17 seconds to go.
All right. So we had an excellent scramble in the first period. Eric came out on top. Now he's going to try to hold him down for 17 seconds because what he doesn't want to do is give up the escape right now. He wants to go into the second period up 3-0.
Quick sit out. We're under 10 seconds. Holding him off with that half.
He's got a wrist and a half.
So whose choice do we have here? We have Bristol Eastern's
Bristol.
choice.
I think he's going to go down.
He defers to Bristol Central. Bristol Central's great. I'm going neutral.
All right.
He did get in a quick shot earlier.
He was in. He was in right away. I wonder if Eric remembers that and is like, hey, this kid's coming at me. Yeah.
And he is.
All
He's
right.
right in on that
Right
leg.
in. Central in on a single.
Rolls him through.
Massey rolls him through. Still in a scramble situation. There's no control. Yep.
It's Evan Martin for Bristol Eastern.
Martin. All right. Sorry, Martin, not Massey.
There's another rollover.
All right. There. Scramble position, no control. Martin has like a half Nelson. With
He is
his,
definitely in a funky position here.
Yeah.
We'll see if Naman awards him control. Oh,
like Hudson's just trying to get out of bounds. If he just picks his feet out, get a fresh start.
we're going to have a stalemate. 36 seconds to go in the period. I'm very impressed with Hudson Fry. Freshman coming in here going against a senior captain. Here's the first shot for Evan in the match. Right to a cradle.
He's got it tied up. He's got, all right. He's got Hudson in a tough situation.
And there's the
pin.
fall. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Bringing that math to us.
There you go.
Your team score right now is Bristol Eastern 12, Bristol Central 6.
Hey, but you have to give it to the freshman. Going right after it. Like right away. Boom. First
Very
whistle.
impressed. Very impressed by him. In on 2 shots. But you can't take anything away from a senior in his own gym on senior night.
It's true. It's true. All right. So for Bristol Central, we've got Darian Fournier. We'll change the lineup.
And we're going to get the name of the Bristol Eastern competitor.
Central got taken down, got thrown to his back. Now there's Nam is holding 4 near fall. So we're trying to get the name of the Bristol Eastern Wrestling. As we were talking about, there's a lot of gamesmanship. So the lineups we have doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen when they have to report to the match. Right now, Bristol Eastern.
We have a Carter Vincent for Bristol Eastern.
Carter Vincent. All right. And now we've got a 7-0 lead for Carter Vincent and Bristol Eastern in this match. He's got a cradle locked up. He's on a cross-face cradle. Now he jumps to the other side where he should be to run this move.
Yeah, he's got to get hip to hip on that other side.
He's got a hip over. It's going to be hard. You see a lot of kids. They get this. They do all this work to get it locked up, and it's just really hard to jump over to that side because the bottom guy's got his hips up and trying to block it.
Looked like it was a quick locked hands. The referee did not see that.
We'll talk to him later.
Well, we both know, being officials, it is sometimes tough to see way down underneath there. We do our best to get the call and try to get the call correct.
Fournier to his feet, reaches back, throws a headlock. No, still Bristol Eastern control, but Fournier's giving it his best shot to turn him over. And it looks like he might. There he goes. He's got a reversal.
And back points. Holding 2.
In the first period.
7-4.
So Fournier got the reversal and 2 near fall. And he was reaching back. There's a lot of times you tell these youth kids, don't reach back. But it worked out in Fournier's favor this time.
Evan defers. Vincent Chase takes neutral.
And we have a headgear malfunction. So Central's scavenging their bench right now to try to find a headgear for this guy so we can continue. And this happens several times throughout the season. And every kid on the bench that has a headgear jumps up and starts throwing their headgear to the guy on the mat. And they got to find one. It's always comical when the 106-pounder needs a headgear and the heavyweight tries to give him his headgear.
Yes.
It's like, well, that's not going to work.
There he goes. We got
All right.
Coach Poisonal got him in another headgear. He's ready to go. We're starting neutral.
Neutral.
It'll be Bristol Central's choice in the third period.
Match score is 7-4, Bristol Eastern. Central in on a high crotch. Changes off to a double. Back to a single.
Vincent trying to get the hips away. Trying to get that chin.
Yeah, Vincent's looking to work some of his short offense. He's doing the old cement mixer.
Head and arm, whip the right over.
Now they're
3 takedown, and he's getting back. So you got the 4 complement near fall.
we got a minute 16 left in the second period. Fournier's he's gonna be fighting for a while here. Looks like Vincent's got it locked up tight.
Now in high school, you need the shoulders down for 2 seconds. That's why the referee, he has the best eyes in the gym for that fall.
Yep. Nama's in the right position to see it.
Yes, and definitely that near shoulder is still up. Fournier is definitely holding that up.
Little adjustment by Carter, and there's the fall.
316. Fall for Vincent. So we should have different wrestlers that come out for 132. We will get their names when they get there.
Now we have current team score is Bristol Eastern 18, Bristol Central 6, but it's early. There's still plenty of wrestling to go.
So I believe Eastern has to show first. This is Colton Massey.
So we got Colton Massey, a sophomore. We got Lucas Wellburn, who's also a sophomore from Bristol Central. Lucas in on a single right away, a low single. Little page out of John Smith's book.
There's definitely a trend here where Bristol Central is definitely off on their shots first.
Yes.
Looked like they're really trying to pressure Bristol Eastern and get that lead early.
Now it's a scramble. And Eastern comes out on top. So Colton Massey with a 3-0 lead.
Colton Massey this past weekend took 5th at the CCC tournament. And as a team, Bristol Eastern finished 2nd by a half point to New Britain High School.
All right, Colton's on top. He's riding him tough. Welburn to his feet. Hits a little bit of a switch. He's in on a leg. He's on his hip. He's locked in the crotch. He's just trying to defend him, prevent the reversal right here. He's got that knee twisted pretty good. I think the referee's looking at it, making sure. Watch the knee. There he goes. He's in potentially
right
dangerous.
on top of it to keep the athletes safe. You don't want to have an injury this late in the season. Bristol Eastern still in control. Lucas is going to be in the down position.
33 seconds left in the first period. Welburn tries to stand up. Massey chops him back down. He's got a 2. It looks like he's riding a 2-on-1 from behind, pressuring forward. He's trying to keep him down for the last 15 seconds of this period.
Got that tight waist near wrist. Trying to collapse that hip to the ground. There it is.
Yep. All he's thinking is wait this period out, go the second period up 3-0. It looks like that's what's going to happen.
I believe it's Bristol Eastern's choice. Yes, it is. Lucas chooses bottom.
Into a stand-up right away. Massey he's got his arm trapped on the left side. He's behind him. They're both in their feet. Trips him forward. They go out of bounds. Fresh start for Bristol Central.
Let's see what breakdown he goes to here. He's lined up on the other side this time, near arm chop.
Looks like
Looking over cross wrist.
Yeah. Looks like Massey really wants to ride him and try to turn him. He's not interested in letting him go and taking him down. He's got a 2-on-1. Minute 30 left in the second period. Welburn looking for a switch. Broken back down by Massey. Massey's doing a good job of keeping the pressure on, keeping it forward, keeping Welburn flat on the mat.
Yeah. But at some point, I'm sure Nam's going to be asking him to try to attempt a turn here and come off the hips.
Yep. Yep. It's not like college. You don't get points for riding time. Yep.
Right now, the official's asking both wrestlers to improve.
And the goal is when you're on top, you constantly have to be looking for a turn. And when you're on bottom, you're constantly looking for trying to escape or get a reversal.
Well, here we go now. So he has that
All
wrist
right.
right over to a tilt here. He was trying to stack him on the near side. Still has that hold.
We got 20 seconds left in the second period.
He lost it underneath the wrist. See if he goes
He's got him.
half this side. Ten seconds to go.
That's how this period's going to end.
3-0 in favor of the Lancers. He's looking to his coach for assistance. He's going top.
Let's go on top. He signaled to the ref. He wanted to go down. But he looked over to his coach. His coach said top. So we'll see. We'll see if he can get a turn in third period or if Lucas can get the escape. Lucas right away on the switch. Chopped and broken back down by
Right back
Massey.
to that 2-on-1. Let's see if he goes to the wing on that side. The reinforced wing. A lot of hand fighting going on up there.
Yep. Yeah, and Lucas has his head on the mat a lot too.
That's definitely one thing you hear is get your head off the mat from coaches. I remember my day there, you say, get your head off the mat.
All the time. And you know,
And
They
there it
hit-
is. And that's the reason why you got to keep your head off that mat.
stalling warning red. Now, when you call stalling when they're in top and bottom position, if it's the bottom person, you don't stop the match. If it's the top person, most of the time you stop the match. But Lucas looks fairly content down there, but he's trying to break, he's trying to build a base and get up, but Massey's smothering with that with the pressure forward and that 2-on-1.
There it is. There's the stall warning on top. Should not change anything that you're doing. If you're the Eastern pitch, you should just keep riding it. There's no way you're going to give up that many points with 41 seconds to go in this match.
Lucas attempts to stand up, chops back down, and Massey's right back to that 2-on-1. He's got the right arm trapped. He's got pressure forward. Looks like he's threading the needle a little bit, looking for potentially a tilt. But we've got 15 seconds left in this match.
And there's the final buzzer. Final score is 3-0 for Colton Massey, sophomore.
And with about 5+ minutes of riding time in that match.
All right, so now Bristol Central is going to have to show their wrestler here. They had a new addition at this weight class, Justin Z.
Our next match.
But we'll check with the scorekeepers and who is out here.
The captain from Bristol Central Rams is Isaiah Mullins. And welcoming our senior captain to the match, Trevin Guadarrama.
As you heard the announcer say, we have Trevin Guadarrama. Trevin Guadarrama was second at the CCCs. And we have Isaiah Mullins is a junior.
Trevor with a shot off the whistle. Back in. Single. Changes to a double. He's got 3 for a takedown.
So Trevin started his high school career on the basketball court. And here he is. His record this year is a 36-2. And he is ranked 7th.
So there
in the
are,
state.
yeah. So that tells you there's a lot of hope for the basketball players out there.
Yep. I'm sure there's many basketball players that don't want to meet Trevin on the map.
Trevin's got it's 6-1 already, and he's
Gonna
got
get those legs in, and there's the
there
shoulder.
it is.
57 seconds.
And another fall for Bristol Eastern, bringing the team score 27-6.
So our next weight class is going to be 144.
We have
On
another senior
paper,
match here at 140.
They have Melvin Rodriguez, and for Bristol Eastern,
Alex
From Bristol Central is Melvin Rodriguez.
Sinzo.
And senior Alex Schimmel from Bristol Eastern.
Alex Sinnel, a senior.
You can definitely see these guys have been worn. They both have shoulder wraps on.
It's a long season. Little hand fight, little circle.
Let's see if Bristol Central fires off a shot and goes first.
I think this is the first match they haven't shot in the first 10 seconds. Alex?
Oh, Eastern gets the low ankles first. And
He catches
control
both.
right to a cradle.
Right to a cradle.
And we have an escape. Bristol Central.
Yeah.
3-1 is the score right now.
He had a cradle locked up, but couldn't convert to back points.
Back to that low level shot. And there's the score.
It's a takedown and a dump to his back. So now we got the second takedown, and now there's back points. And a minute left in the first period. Oh, he's got
Got to be that far side shoulder that's still up. And there's the ball.
there's the fall for Alex Sinnell, senior at Bristol Eastern.
1 minute, 20 seconds on that ball. Pushes the team score up to 33-6.
And this is Eastern's ready to wrestle. We're kind of pulling away here in the lower weights, but we still have plenty of wrestling in the upper weights to go.
You definitely see Coach Boisonneau's strategy, though, early on. Score first, get ahead. But Eastern, it looks like they're a little too much right now for them.
Absolutely. So at 150, we've got Jacoby Fry, who's a senior. And for Eastern,
We'll get Eastern's kid at 150.
we got Matt Otani from Eastern, who gets the first takedown.
And we go out of bounds. 3-0 Lancers here.
We're being corrected because Dave called Jacoby Jacob earlier in the broadcast. So,
Scobie gets his hips out, looking for
Eastern pressure on top. Parallel. Got a wrist and he's running a half. Jacoby fights it off. Looks like Eastern's setting up like a 2-on-1 tilt, but he keeps throwing that half from the other side.
Jacoby, but has both hands out. He lets him go.
All right, Eastern trying the crossface cradle. Jacoby breaks the grip.
Jacoby's got to break that off his wrist there.
We just watched the match where they rode that 2-on-1 for quite a long time. So I think this might be part of their strategy.
Yeah, once Central gets their hands free, they got to keep the hands to get out.
Looks like he's going. Look, Eastern going to a butcher. Needs to get his leg out and run around the head.
Jacoby is figure fouring that. And preventing him from getting off the hip. There's the end of the first period. 3-0 Eastern. Bristol Central defers to Eastern. Eastern's going to go down, try to build his score up. We'll see how Jacoby does here. Lines up on the left side. Right into the legs. So now he needs to extend him, get him lengthen out to try to turn.
He's trying the power half. Nothing there.
Got the head.
He gets a little.
So
Jacoby
central
getting a little
control.
high. Otani
And there's
with
a
the
reversal.
Back to that Butcher. This time he's running around the right side. He goes back and covers the hips.
Nam is asking both guys to work.
Dave, how are the Doritos? Kind of tied up right now. Both wrestlers can't really make any progress. Jacoby let go of the legs, so we're Otani back on top.
Jacoby's having a real hard time getting out there.
Yeah,
His head is on the mat.
And this,
And there's the first warning.
We've seen this a lot. The Eastern guys are so smothering on top. They're dominating. They're holding them down, and they're getting like stall calls in the bottom.
Here's the reversal. 5-2 Eastern, and we are out of bounds. Jacoby in control. Otani to set up bottom.
15 seconds in the second period. Eastern needs an escape. Wants to escape right away, but he didn't really do much off the whistle.
Little chop. And there's a reversal.
And there's a reversal.
And that's the end of the period. We have Bristol Central's choice.
Match score is 7-2, Bristol Eastern.
Bristol Central choosing top.
I mean,
definitely needs to look for a breakdown right off the whistle.
absolutely.
I think he's waiting.
And he threw the boots in the first time, so I would imagine that he's going to go right back to it.
I would.
There's the old fat man roll.
Yep. And there's a reversal.
Looks like
right to a wing.
all right.
And he's got the far wrist as well.
Oh, he's
Wrong direction.
Potentially dangerous. Called by Nam.
I remember refereeing Jacoby. Jacoby is very flexible. Match score is 9-2. Still not at a major decision yet for Eastern.
And that might be something.
But he keeps running this cradle. He's on the wrong side. He's trying to get to the correct side. There he goes.
Gets hip to hip. Now he's got a bump.
Still got to get that leg out of there.
Jacoby's got to be fighting those hands right now.
Yes. He's got to get both legs on that side. Try to pull him backwards.
The cradle is broken. Otani's riding on top. Looks like Jacoby's trying a Peterson here. Instead, looks like he might. He aborted that. He reaches back for the head. Like Otani's not, he's not in danger here. He gives up two. He's not going to get turned. He just needs to give up the two and sort of the same.
Just definitely has to stay off his back to get the win.
Yeah.
Definitely want to pop his head to get it out of there.
Yeah. He's trying to use that for back points, but match is going to end 9-2. Bristol Eastern picks up a decision.
Yep, just a regular decision. He's 1 point away from a major decision, but the team match is 9-2.
In the third period there, I wonder, Coach Susi would say, hey, cut him, try to get the takedown.
I think where the match score is 36-6. I think it may be already clinched at this point.
It's a good point.
So who do we have next? 157.
Got out.
We'll see who Eastern throws out.
We got Emmett Corbin, who's a sophomore, who weighed in at 150, but he's wrestling up. And then we have from Central, Alex Lamar, who's a junior.
Alex finished second at the CCCs this past weekend. He is ranked number 2 in his weight class. But he does compete at 150. You can see the control Alex has out there.
Well, he had a double leg picked up, not finished yet. All right, there's 3 for Alex Lamar.
Alex was also a 2-time New England qualifier for the state of Connecticut. And we're out of bounds. 3-0 Central.
Alex Lamar is rocking the face mask. Might have an injury to his face. Right away, he shoots off the whistle.
Nice drag. Go to that near ankle, chasing it down right to a headlock.
Right to a headlock. Pin kick across the top. And Emmett's in trouble. Minute
So
10.
control out there by Alex. There it
There's
is.
the fall.
101 is the pinfall for Alex Lamar.
So we've got team score 36-12. And we're heading into the 165.
And this is where most of Central's upperclassmen are, from the 150 and on up. This is where they should gain some ground and get this score a lot closer.
All right, so we got Kyle Roman at 165 for Central, who is a senior. And we got Logan Shamper, who's a sophomore for Eastern. Eastern on the shot, out of bounds. Collar tie by Eastern.
Little outside step by Logan.
Yeah. Logan
Trying to get that second leg for the. There's a control of the hips. Right to an ankle pick to break him down. Central builds his base up.
So
And we have a blood time. So in high school, a blood time is 5 minutes. Once they get it stopped, they can stop the blood time, and they can do cleanup here.
Doesn't look like it's very bad. A little bit of a bloody nose, but it's clean.
Coaches are allowed to coach their athletes during blood time, not injury time.
Little cleanup on the mat.
Like both wrestlers are ready to go.
On the restart, Central will be down. Eastern will be starting on top. Eastern
Yeah.
chops him down to his stomach. Looks like he's trying to put a wing in.
Load him up right on his hip there. Not enough for near fall. Got to be at 45 degrees to get the swipes.
Nam was in the right position to see. I think he had him about 60 degrees.
And it looks like we're going to have blood time again.
We got a little more blood. Nam is doing a great job at telling people where the blood is on the mat.
So it doesn't look like the athlete is bleeding. It looks like there's just more blood on the mat that was not cleaned up earlier.
Yeah. When we restart, Central will start on the bottom.
This past weekend, Logan Champer took 5th at the CCCs. Not bad for a wrestler that has just a little bit above 500 record. He comes in at 15 and 13.
Yeah, he's a sophomore, so he's probably looking to improve the next couple years on that 5th place finish. Big mat return by Logan.
Nice clean return. Load him up on the hips. Right to a half.
Jumps to a half and close to.
And that's a period. No swipes.
Swipes at the end of the period, but no.
Bristol Central's choice. They defer. Eastern's going down.
Match score is 3-0 Eastern. Little sit out, turn in. He's got a leg. He's trying to get 2 on. He's trying to step over. Looks like close to it, and he gets the reversal. Logan with a 2-point reversal.
That brings that match score up to 5. It's nothing Eastern. Here again, Central having a hard time on the bottom finding hand control.
Yeah, they are. All right, looks like he's trying to get that wing in. He's got the far wrist, big step. He's trying to bring him over, and there's swipes. He's got 2.
Nam is holding 2.
All right, there's more.
Holding 3 now. Comes out of it. 3 is awarded. Match score is 8-0. Eastern still in control.
Central in on a single tape leg position, but looks like Eastern's going to cross face out of it and go behind.
Right here, Central should be finding hands and standing up and getting out of there. You don't want to get turned again. This match could get away from them quickly. Under 30 to go. He's got the arm on the back. Refs tell him to keep it legal. Wing and a half. Just the regular half now.
Regular half.
1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 4. 4 near fall.
4 near fall at the end. Takes us to 12-0.
More mat cleanup. Bristol Central's choice. It's going neutral. Now, if he's taken down here, it is the tech fall. It's a 15-point difference. Unless he brings him down to his back, the ref will allow him to pin him, but he's got to be directly to his back. Now, do you think Logan's going to look for the fall, or he's just trying to get tech fall and get out of here?
I think he's going to take down, be done with it. There it is.
And there it is. So it's a 15-point differential. 15-0 is the score. That's 5 more points for Bristol Eastern, which brings us up to 41-12. So we're going up to 175.
It's like we've got Donovan Plantamore, who's a senior from Central.
Donovan is 9-4 so far. I think he had an injury earlier in the year.
Subbing in at 175 is our senior Evan Kaczynski.
All right, so we got senior Evan Kaczynski at 175.
Evan normally wrestles at 157 pounds. Evan took second at the CCCs at 157 pounds.
So Evan's giving up a little bit of weight. And it's great to have someone in your lineup that can cover these weight classes. And obviously the Eastern coaches are confident that he can go up and he can still perform.
Evan is currently ranked 7th in the state of Connecticut at 157 pounds as well.
Team score is currently 41-12 Eastern. We're scoreless in the first period, minute left. Kaczynski with a shot attempt, but nothing where he was in danger.
Attempt at an outside step, but did not set that up.
No, he got it. He shot from outside. He tried to shoot across the head. There was no setup.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot more different of weight wrestling at this weight class than 157
Yeah, he
pounds.
might be able to get away with that at 57.
Noah's a senior. He was in the lineup last year.
All right, we got a scoreless first period. It's Bristol Eastern choice. Looks like he's going to defer. He does. Central's choice. Central takes down. A lot of these matches, when it's 0-0 and you have choice, they always take a lot. Usually they take down, because if they score the first point in a match, regardless of it's a defensive point, an offensive point, you get the final choice when it comes to the final 30-second tiebreak. Eastern's confident they're going to need it, so they just deferred and see where they're at, and they want to take their chances in the third period.
No, it separates his hip. Evan is still on that front head, so there's no change. No change yet.
Still control for Eastern.
And back to the leg, which keeps them under control, but he needs to return him here. Just can't hang out here.
And you're right. He's got to stay in the circle. He drags him out.
Could be stalling.
Could be stalling, exactly. He's forcing the restart. He's got plenty of mat to work with. He's trying to sweep him.
There's an attempt by Eastern to return him. Needs to keep the attempts up. There's a sweep.
Nicely executed front sweep.
Definitely a lot of patience there by the official. Some officials would call stalling right away there. He made 2 attempts in a matter of like 20 seconds, which is okay.
And the rule says you have to attempt to bring it.
We're under 30 seconds here, so he's probably looking to ride him unless Noah gives a Evan gets out of position, which he just did.
She just did.
There's a reversal.
There's two for Donovan.
Should at least try to get one if you're an Eastern wrestler here. And there's one. Dives right back in. We're under 5 seconds. Don't give up a takedown here. Hang on. There we go. 2-1 with Eastern. Choice takes bottom.
So he's got one to escape. A reversal to take a 1 point lead.
No one needs to either ride him out or try to turn him here. We have no stalling on either wrestler. Looking for a cradle. Covers the hips. Central coaching staff is looking for him to throw half. And for Bristol Central, the coaches on their side is head coach is Matt Boisenall. Juan Quintero is the assistant, along with John Horan, Bruce Gilmet, Glenn Pierce, and Jacob Salinas.
Quite a staff in there. Bristol Central Wrestling Room.
He's got that half now. Far side cradle, looking for it.
I can just tell there's and Kaczynski reaching back for a headlock. What you tell every youth wrestler not to do.
We're under a minute, and we're on the wood.
We're up. Fresh start for Kaczynski.
51 seconds. He's still down one. Should be looking for an escape here instead of reversal, right?
Absolutely. Get to your feet, and then worry about you'll have 51 seconds plus a minute overtime to get a takedown.
If you're Noah here, you just want to break him down, get him flat, get that weight on top of him because there is a weight difference.
Kaczynski to his feet. There's one. Now we're tied up. 40 seconds left. 2-2. Front headlock for Bristol Central. Wrist control. Oh. Kaczynski with a scramble, takedown to his back, and there's near fall. That's going to ice this match. So a tight one ends up 9-2 with a late 7-point takedown. Well, takedown plus near fall.
Next up, another senior match in the 190 weight class. From the Bristol Central Rams is Rocco Polino versus senior John Saraceno.
So at 190, we've got two seniors battling. John Saracena from Bristol Eastern and Rocco Paulino.
Rocco's very tough. Rocco took second at the CCCs, lost to Cologne. Cologne, a really accomplished wrestler, probably the top kid at 190. But Rocco made the finals there. Rocco also has we'll get his record for you. Rocco is 22-2. He's ranked 4th in the state of Connecticut. He's also ranked 3rd academically for his senior class. So a very smart kid. I'm sure this kid's going to be going to a great college. Head and arm right on over.
The net mixer to his back. We've got the takedown and we've got backs. We got
Look at the
Namas
patience
holding
in
forward.
Rocco's eyes. He knows it's a matter of time. He's just going to weigh on him.
Small adjustments, and there's the pen.
Can't wait to see what Rocco does at the Class L's.
All right. So that brings the team score 44-18. And we're cruising. We're already at the 215-pound weight class.
This is going to be a rematch at the quarterfinals of the CCC tournament,
215 pounds.
where Aiden Davies came out on top.
The Rams have Phil Kruger coming up. We want to announce this one because
So we got
Tribute CCC champion at 215 pounds. Aiden Davies taking the mat.
So there's a new wrestler here at 215 for Central.
Julian Rodriguez. So we thought it was going to be Cole Krieger,
Coming in
but now it's Julian Rodriguez for Bristol Central versus Aiden Davies. Aiden Davies is a junior and's got a 34-2 record.
Aiden was also a CCC champion. He took first this past weekend. Aiden was not in the lineup last year. He had a season-ending injury due to football.
Aiden moves like a lightweight.
He definitely was. Aiden was also runner-up in the state of Connecticut at youth wrestling.
Was he? Did you coach him as a gladiator?
I did not. Most of the kids that I coached have moved on from college.
All right.
And there's no more connections to either side of these kids anymore.
But
Yes.
there's been a lot of tough Bristol kids you've coached over the years.
Definitely. That's
Aiden
a
Davies.
quick double.
Wow.
At 215, you don't see it a lot of
No,
that.
you don't see that. He was in, like I said, he's wrestling like a lightweight out there. He's got quick feet. He's got better hair than he does feet. I mean,
It's not that short hair roll that we used to have to wrestle with, right? We had to make sure we were
Right.
shaved and
those rules, those went out the window. Aiden with a tough ride. 25 seconds left in the first period. It looks like he just wants to ride this out.
Yep.
Go up. He's trying to
going to a tilt.
Trying to a tilt.
215 pounder hitting a tilt, huh?
Yeah.
I did watch Aiden a little bit this past weekend. He does a lot of Blair rides. He loads them up on his hip, tries to turn them over.
Yeah. All right, 4 seconds left in the first period. Central's going to start down. Aiden's going to try to ride him out. It's going to be Eastern choice. Eastern defers. Central takes neutral. So are we going to see Cole Kruger
So-
at heavyweight?
Yeah, I think so. He's still up there warming up, and I don't see anyone else warming up.
Okay.
So there's Julian. Julian had a shot. Julian definitely is going to have to keep his level down so he doesn't get blast doubled again. Keep his hands in front.
Yeah. Hands off his knees, too.
Quick level change by Aiden. Just looks like a timing thing. You know, you don't see
There
that
it is.
as a reach. So
Boom.
quick level change to a double.
That was a little like Jordan Burroughs-esque with your head in the middle there and just drive right through.
Not bad to try to emulate Jordan Burroughs, I would
No.
say.
No, if someone tells you you have a Jordan Burroughs-like double leg, you're doing something right.
Yes. Really impressive again at 215.
Absolutely.
It's got that near wing again.
Oh, yeah. He's got it tight. He's 90 degrees. He's about ready to get some near fall. But looks like it slipped a little bit.
Nothing. Needs to take a little more time with that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
small steps. But again, Aiden was out of all last year with an injury. I'm sure he's really excited for this postseason
Absolutely.
as a junior.
And you mentioned that he heard it in football. I would imagine he's a pretty decent linebacker in the high school
And
ranks.
that is the position he does play.
Yeah.
Again, Central, what you need to do here is definitely just find hand control first. Find hand control. Try to separate them. Now, then you start working your hips away. That's the end of the second period. We have 6-0.
All right. All right, Central started down. Did Aiden choose top?
I think Aiden, because it's 6-0 right now.
That's true. Okay. Working kind of a head lever off the side. Can't get the arm straightened, so he goes back behind. Jumping off this side for that head lever.
There he goes. Oh, got to stay on those hands. Yep.
That's stalling on bottom man. That'd be Bristol Central. We've seen a couple of those calls tonight. We got 50 seconds left in the third period. Score is 6-0 Eastern.
So he's trying to look for bonus points here, Eastern kid. Central kid's trying to keep those bonus points off the board.
It's close to a near fall here.
There's near falls.
There's 2, 3, 4 swipes for 4. So we've got a major decision right now. Looks like Jillian's fighting. Oh, and now
That's not
Jillian's in
good
trouble.
there. And there's the fall.
What's the math?
5:44.
There you go. Didn't even use a calculator, did you?
No, I don't. And trust me, folks, I do not have my phone out. I do this on the fly.
There you go.
So we're going into the last weight class here. Let's introduce the Bristol Eastern coaches. It is first year Phil Susi, his son Peyton Susi, and James Martin and Carson Sassu. To know all these coaches were also Bristol Eastern wrestlers.
Yeah. There's a lot of very common names when you come to Bristol Eastern wrestling here. When you say Susie, Sasso, Martin, Thompson.
Yeah. So here we go at heavyweight. We have Cole Kruger for Bristol Central and Miguel Rodriguez for Bristol Eastern. Cole Kruger is a captain. He is 23-12. He's ranked 19th in the state. He's also a talented drummer and member of the BC marching band. He also earned an Eagle Scout recognition last year.
Wow. That's impressive to be an Eagle Scout.
Julian Rodriguez is 25-12. I believe Julian is also a transfer. I think he used to wrestle at EC Goodwin.
Okay. And Miguel is a junior at Eastern.
So he's going to have another year here. Good record for a junior, 25-12. We'll see if he can move on at the Class L's and get a top six podium position. Cole will be competing probably at 215. I do see Cole moving get a top 6 podium stand.
At the class tournament?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
At Class L's. Class L's will be held at Wilton. Eastern does compete at the Class M's, which will be held where, Andrew?
At Guilford High School.
And those start on Friday night. I hear they have one of the better officials at the Class M's.
Yeah, I've heard his name, Kevin Holmgren. Is that what you're talking about? And what about the L's?
Oh, the L's, we just put together a crew. We'll see how they are. But in the Class L's, Central's going to have a tough time. There's a lot of really good schools in the Class L's. You got Fairfield, Ward, Xavier. Newtown is there. Going to be very tough. New Milford is another tough program there. Many top 10 programs. There's Cole, got his hips out. Cole should be getting the his escape or reversal. We have an escape for Cole Kruger.
Took one there. So we got
Now, Cole Kruger's father was a Bristol Eastern captain back in the 80s. And his uncles, Josh and Matt, were also captains at Bristol Eastern. His grandparents were a fixture in the stands.
Nice.
Cole's father also was a Bristol Eastern coach and a Terryville coach.
So we got stalling on Bristol Central. Nam thought that Bristol Eastern was pushing the pace a little more.
Score is still 1-0 Bristol Central.
Minute left in the second period.
So if the score remains here,
Cole's
you're
an
probably going to look at Eastern taking bottom to escape just to tie that up.
I would imagine. All right. Eastern in on a shot.
Looks
Defended off by Cole.
Kind of impressive to see a heavyweight trying a fireman's carry there.
Yeah. We got upper weights doing blast doubles, and we got them doing fireman's carries.
30 seconds to go here.
Cole into like a duck under position, gets a single. Oh. And hits the mat, and Eastern comes around for the takedown. So
Under 10, Eastern's looking to try to just keep him down. Cole's definitely looking to score here.
3 seconds. All right. So we got 3-1.
Eastern's choice. Coaches are telling him to take bottom.
Is Central going to cut him early? Or is he going to try to turn him? You try to turn him for a few seconds. If you can't, cut him and then.
That should be a thing that Matt Boisenau is telling Cole to do here. He has not been on top yet.
It's like
There's
Miguel's
an
going to get away. And
Still no danger if Cole can get off a takedown. He can tie the match up, but then he would have to ride him out.
He gets a quick one. He lets him up again. Cole dives in for a double. Miguel snaps him down, spins behind. So now we're at 7-1.
Miguel's very close to locking hands every time down there. The referee's down low.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
Yep. And you're out of bounds. 1:11 to go in the match. Cole's going to have to pop up, get his hip separation, try to get out here. I would not be trying to get a reversal here.
No.
Get to your feet.
Get your escape, and you're looking for in 30 seconds. You're
He has
looking
a
for
hand
something
control.
big.
Get that foot up. There he goes. Drive off a bit.
Miguel with a mat return.
Miguel's got to be careful there, though, because if Cole goes right into a switch, he could end up on his back.
It's true. Fresh start.
46 seconds to go. His Bristol Central, Cole Kruger, his teammates call him Big Red.
Big Red's got to get it in gear. And now Cole's on his back.
Yep.
Quickly. Gets off.
Not enough. He's got to hold him in that position for 2 seconds, and the referee's got to identify that it is. Eastern coach is just telling them to stay there, stay in bounds. $14 seconds to go. Eastern coach is telling them to one more
14
breakdown.
seconds. 14 seconds. Miguel's going to ride him out for the win. A 7-1 victory for Miguel Rodriguez of Bristol Eastern.
Which brings your total match score to 53-18.
Your nice round of applause for all of our varsity wrestlers who did second round tonight.
And we're going to have
Congratulations to
Trevin
all of our
Guadalama,
wrestlers.
the 138-pounder for Bristol Eastern over here. He's going to talk to us, as there's good sportsmanship by both teams here. They're going to shake hands.
Yeah, and Trevin, he was a former basketball player, and now he's making some noise on the wrestling mat, and it looks like he's going to be doing great.
Congratulations on a great regular season as we head into these.
All right, so we're going to, as they go through the lineup here, what did you see from Bristol Eastern?
You know, they were ready to wrestle. They were dominating on top. And, you know, when they won, you know, they had a lot of pins early. But even if it was a fairly close match, it seemed like the Bristol Eastern guys were, you know, they're grinding out the wins. Every position, they're winning every position. And they were ready to go tonight. And the score shows that. 53-18. I was expecting a little bit more of a closer one.
So what did you see as some of the keys for this victory for Bristol Eastern?
Well, I know Central was a little bit behind it. They had Caden. Well, they lost a key contributor in their lineup, so it definitely stretches them out a little bit. Also, I saw a couple key matches where you definitely want to capture the momentum, but I think Central was behind it a little bit. You know, you got a really talented wrestler in Hudson Fry going against, you know, a senior captain in Evan Martin. And I think Hudson can hang with him and keep that a competitive match, but he was coming off injury, so you could tell his gas tank wasn't where it needed to be. So then another key match when you have Welburn and Colton Massey. That's a key match. Those guys have been battling all year. Colton's winning the series right now, but it's usually a 3-1, 3-2 match type of deal. So if they could have captured a couple of them in there, I think it would have helped with their momentum. But once those matches were complete, it's really tough to recapture that momentum and keep it rolling.
Hey, and Brian, what'd you think about the Bristol Central lower weights? They're younger, but they went out there. They were aggressive. I'm talking about Hudson's a freshman taking on a senior right away. No fear. The kid was going after it. He ended up not winning the match, but I like to see that aggression.
I think the future is very bright for them down low. You know, Cody Dragon is only a sophomore. He's a really talented wrestler. And then you add in Fournier. Fournier came up through the Gladiators. He's a very talented kid. And then Hudson as well. So those first three. And then you also add in their 13, who's younger. Caleb Morales. We're hoping to get him down at the club this offseason so we can help him develop too. But yeah, I think the future is bright for them. Those kids down low are going to be really tough, really tough.
Okay, so walking over here now, we're going to have Trevin Guadarrama. He's coming in here. Again, he's a senior. Trevin's record now is 37-2. Trevin, what did you see your team right off the bat?
Dominance. You know, they're always fun coming out here wrestling Central, and we just had to bring extra swagger today, and I think we brought that.
It looks like early on Central is like they're going to take the first shot. They're going to try to score quickly. Is that things that your coaches are working on, just good defense, trying to score first yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to go into the match and set the tone, and they want to come out here and set the tone, but we're not going to allow that around here. So we got to come into the match and set the tone.
So this is your house. You want to defend it. How did it feel getting the win at your weight class?
Feels amazing, but we got all of us on this team. We all have bigger goals this year, and we want to get that state title at the M.
So what is next for Bristol Eastern in the Class M's?
A state championship, hopefully. I mean, we all got our sights set on that, and that's the main goal for all of us.
All right, Trevin, thanks a lot for coming over here. Congratulations. Good luck at the M's. All right. We're going to bring over a Bristol Central wrestler, their top wrestler. This is Alex Lamar. Alex wrestled up a weight class tonight, right? All right. So Alex, as I asked Trevin, early weight classes, I saw Bristol Central pushing the pace. Looks like they wanted to get up and score first. Is that something the coach was working on during the week for you guys?
We've been keeping the guys going. We've been working on a lot of the stuff that we've messed up in the past, trying to get better at it. I think that this is a key match where we needed to fix those things, but obviously it didn't. We didn't. We still went out there, made the same mistakes, and I think that they wrestled with more pride, and that's why we lost.
All right, so one more question. You guys have the Class L's coming up. It's a very tough tournament. There's a lot of top 10 programs in there. What are you guys going to do to get yourself in that top 10 there?
I think we're going to get our guys in the right mindset, work on individually with the guys that need work. Like for the people who need doubles, we're going to work shots. People that we need to work sprawls, the big guys who need to work their stand-ups. We're going to work on the key moves that we need in order to place in L's and just succeed as a team.
All right, Alex, I'll see you at the L's. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Coach Phil Susi at the victorious Bristol Eastern Lancers. Showed up tonight. You really had your guys going tonight.
Yeah. As I talked to you guys about it a little bit before, the kids handled the moment very well. It's a little nervous about it at a big night like this, but the kids really stepped up. I thought our 13-pounder, who was a little banged up from this weekend, stepped up today and set the tempo. And then what's important for us is just to keep the tempo going. So we were able to extend that all the way through the first half of the lineup, and it put us in a good position. You saw the kids really started wrestling with confidence.
And one thing we noticed, some of the Central kids in the lower weights came out right away. They were aggressive. They're taking that shot right away. They're taking it to your guys. The Eastern wrestlers, they weathered the storm, kind of maintained their composure and did what they needed to get done.
Yeah, that's what we kind of talked about. Sometimes we come out the other way. We come out a little too aggressive, sloppy, trying to force things. So I told them I really want them to kind of absorb the match. This way, let the momentum of the match get you jacked up. Don't go in there too excited, trying to do too much early, and extend it because we condition a lot. We want the match to extend. The longer it extends, we think the better we are.
And one thing I noticed, you guys were dominant on top to the point where you're riding tough. You're grinding out wins, and even the Central's getting hit for stalling on the bottom. They were trying to get up, but your guys were in good positions. And I can tell, like, your mat wrestling is a big aspect of it. You can take people down, but you guys were on top. You were monsters on top tonight.
Yeah, that's important for us. We don't want to just ride. We want to be physical when we're riding. And as you know, working a whole period on the bottom gasses kids out. So like I talk about extending a match, if you can get on top and you can extend it being physical on top, you see what happens. We got pins in the third period in close matches. I think
Absolutely. Yep. And
All right, so to recap here, it was a dominant performance by Bristol Eastern, especially on top.
Yep. And one thing, Coach Susi said is like we always preach that we're dominant on top, we're pressuring, we're wearing these guys out because when you're on bottom, it takes a lot out of you.
So, and the other thing that we talked definitely about the lower weights for Bristol Central being aggressive. They do have a lot of young talent there to build on for next year. So they're just paving their way for the future.
Absolutely. And seeing both of these teams, they got lots of guys out on the team, both sides. I see smaller guys, I see heavier weights. So they have depth. And I would imagine, Coach Boysenall is going to have them working out in the off season. He's going to be having them hitting the Gladiators room and training. So I think both sides, the future's bright. Eastern got the best of them tonight, but I don't see this being, they're going to close the gap.
So it's definitely beneficial to having a youth program in this town and for these programs. They do service both schools. They're both getting a few kids every year. It's just great things that Coach Lishnas is doing down there. And it shows on the mat. As many of these kids were gladiator wrestlers.
Yeah, I see it every Sunday at these youth tournaments. And there's about 50 gladiators running around. And these kids are having fun. They're winning matches. And they're learning the fundamentals. And, there's got to be 6 or 7 different gladiator coaches. So definitely, it's showing as they go up through the ranks in high school, for sure.
So, again, Bristol Eastern will be competing next Friday and Saturday at Guilford High School for a Class M title. And Bristol Central will be competing Friday and Saturday against the Class L talent.
Well, that's not next Friday. It's the 20th and 21st.
Correct. So that's in 2 weeks. So in the future, just let us know what you guys want. More, if you want more live wrestling or even more live basketball, we can look into a lot of different things here. Bristol Sports Edition is open up to your suggestions.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, if it's basketball, you're not going to hear me. But if it's wrestling, you got Dave and I.
So, again, Bristol Eastern did win the title this year. We're trying to get their season end records. But we'll get back to you. And we're signing off here at Thomas Monahan Gymnasium.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. This was great.